Okay, so welcome to this APM Fast Track course. My name is Lukman Rafiq and I am the tutor for this course APM. We are going to start off with this APM Fast Track course, but before I go on discussing about this APM Fast Track, let me just give you a bit of an idea that what exactly is this APM Fast Track going to cover up, who exactly is going to be suitable to attend this APM Fast Track course, and what are the areas that we shall be covering in this Fast Track course, and what can you expect when you are done with this Fast Track course. So today is the 6th of May. So the duration of this course is going to be 30 days, which is up till the examination date. We will be having we'll be having the hybrid course. That is, it's going to be a mixture of live plus recorded. There are going to be 13 live sessions that will be conducted during this specific course. There's going to be ample amount of CBE practice. There's going to be ample amount of CBE practice. Number fourth of them is there is going to be the access to the recorded lectures that you would be getting. The fifth thing that is actually going to happen is that there is going to be a mock examination and the mock feedback, which is going to be provided to you. So that is something that's going to happen. So if I talk about the APM Fast Track course, which we are actually starting off right now, what is this Fast Track course going to provide you? This Fast Track course is going to provide you with a base through which you will be able to attempt the APM exam, and inshallah you will be able to clear it successfully. Now, who is this Fast Track course going to be relevant for, and how am I going to be delivering this course? So you see, what happens is that ideally speaking, if you are somebody who are a first timer, you are somebody who is a reset student. For every single student, this is going to be a course which is going to be beneficial. Why? Because the way I'm going to be delivering this course, I'll be delivering the summary of each topic, and I would try to do maximum past paper question. I would try to do maximum past paper questions. I would try to do maximum past paper questions during these live classes. So what am I actually going to do? I will try to do the maximum past paper questions during these live classes. So you would not have to actually worry about that how exactly are you going to handle past papers. And with respect to the past papers, I am actually going to try and make sure that I am able to do the maximum questions on the CB practice platform, because that is additional practice that you need. So this is how this specific course is going to be delivered. With the session is starting today, and then we will have 4 sessions a week, which is going to be, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. So that's actually 4 sessions going to be there in a week that we shall be conducting. Before I start off, if you people could give me a bit of an idea about your background, that have you people attempted, how many of you have attempted the APM course earlier, or is it the first time that you're attempting this course? There are few people whom I already know. There are few people whom I already know. That is okay. I know about you, Aditya, but I know about you, Christine. I know about you two people only. Now, so if there are other people who could actually tell me about themselves. So I've got one of them is Ehsan, Asad Ehsan. Okay, you are a research student. Asad Ehsan, what went wrong in your first attempt of the APM? What do you are you able to identify any reasons for not being able to clear it earlier? Azad. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, Asad, it is probably lack of practice. You see, what happens is with respect to APM, I personally think that even if you have got 100% knowledge, you will still not be able to pass this paper, and you can even pass this paper with 25% knowledge of the whole course content, because a very important area of this paper is that you need to have the technique to attempt the questions. And this is what we would be focusing, inshallah. Uh, Probably not in today's class. The first class is not going to be more focused on past papers. I am actually going to set the tone in the first class, but the subsequent classes, what I shall be doing is I shall be actually taking you people along to the past papers. For today's class, it won't be past paper focus. Subsequent classes will be past paper focus. Okay, Fatumata Sanyang. Okay, thanks for your message. I have actually noted that it's your first attempt. All the best, and I hope that you are able to clear it in the first attempt. Okay, then we have got Muhammad Ashraf. Muhammad Ashraf, your status, second attempt. Confused because of CBE? Okay, this is not something new. A lot of people get confused because, first of all, APM questions itself is a challenge, plus handling it on the CB platform is an additional challenge. So for this, I would recommend that when you are taking along the classes with me, you will be seeing more and more practice that I'll do. Plus, in addition to this, what we would be doing is that in addition to the practice, we would also be discussing. I repeat, in addition to the practice, we would be doing the CB practice platform also. So you don't have to worry. Inshallah, you will be able to cover up the weaknesses that you have. Okay, thank you, Ernest. First attempt from Zimbabwe. All the best, and hopefully, inshallah, this is going to be your first and the last attempt for the APM. You will be able to clear it. Okay, we have got Mubashara Faraz. Mubashara, if you could just share your status, that what exactly is your status? Yeah, Mubashara, can you just share your status, please? Have you attempted this paper earlier, or is it the first time that you are attempting it? Um, Okay. Um, so anyways, not an issue now. I'm probably not getting response from Mubashira right now. But anyways, let's just start off. Let's just start discussing further. So I am actually going to start off with this APM course. I've given you a bit of an idea that how exactly is this course going to proceed. Starting from today, 6th of May, we are probably going to end up everything by the 6th of June. And these 30 days, inshallah, I will take you through the whole course. There are going to be 13 live sessions. Those live sessions would be exam focused upon examination things. So that is something that would happen. Approximately 65% of the course content would be delivered to you people live, and the remaining 35% would be made available to you in the recorded format. But I would try to make sure that I do get through examination question on almost every topic in our live sessions. So that is what I will do. So this is just a bit of an idea with respect to what APM fast track course is going to be. Now, a bit about myself. Um, I've been in this teaching profession for more than 13 years now, and the APM is one of those courses which, from the perspective of Pakistan, I think that I have actually taught the highest number of students in Pakistan. There was a time that I continuously taught this paper with the dominance across the whole country, teaching approximately 250 to 300 students every single attempt. Then all of a sudden what happened is the number of students attempting this paper in Pakistan, they declined. And then I actually skipped teaching this APM for some 3 years, and I actually got back into the APM teaching back 2.5 years back, and I've conducted three of the last webinars that were being conducted by ACCA. So I've conducted the last three webinars on behalf of ACCA. So those webinars are also available. And right now, Alhamdulillah, I mean, again, I mean, it's something of a subject which I personally think comes naturally to me. So inshallah, when you will be with me, you will be enjoying this course a lot, and you'll be getting to see the many aspects of this course, hopefully, inshallah. So let's just start off. Let's just start discussing. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is that, as I told you in today's session, my major focus is going to be a bit of a theoretical aspect. I will set the tone. The next class, I will go on to the examination questions. The next class onwards, we'll be doing maximum examination questions. So let's just try to discuss things today, and then we can move on next. So this APM is the advanced performance management. Now, APM is the advanced performance management. Let's have a bit of a discussion that what exactly is this performance management all about? What is this advanced performance management all about? Now, the first thing is that let's just try to understand that every single organization which is formed, I repeat, every single organization that is formed. So there is an objective, there is a goal of that organization. There is an objective, there is a goal of that organization. And when we talk about the performance management actually means that you are trying to achieve, that you are trying to achieve the objectives of the organization. Objectives of organization. The purpose for which this organization was created, the purpose for which the organization was made. So if you are trying to actually achieve, you're trying to do things to make sure that you're able to achieve the objectives of the organization. So this is actually going to be considered as performance management. So when we talk about the word performance management, so performance management means ensuring that you are able to achieve the objectives, you are able to achieve the goals of the organization. That's what performance management is all about. Now, when we talk about an organization, when we talk about an organization, there are multiple departments that an organization has, and those multiple departments include HR department. Those multiple departments include distribution department, marketing, sales, finance, IT, production, etc., etc., etc. So when we think from the perspective of an organization, so if you got to be running an organization, you need to have multiple departments, multiple functions within an organization in order to ensure that the organization is able to achieve its objectives. So when we talk about the performance management, this means that we would be thinking how to manage the activities of the HR department. That is, what policies would we need to do with respect to the appraisal of the employee's performance? What type of reward schemes do we need to set for the employees? That is something that we would have to decide. We would need to think about the distribution departments of the organization, that how the distribution departments should function, how they should ensure that their performance is optimized or they're performing at the optimal level. We need to know the marketing departments of the organization, that what is the function of marketing department, what strategies should the marketing department adopt, how the finance function is going to operate, what capabilities does the IT department has, and what capabilities does the IT department need to create. So all of this is something that we would have to be discussing. So basically, if we talk about from the perspective of an organization, so from the perspective of the organization, what actually do we mean by this? There are multiple functions, there are multiple departments in an organization, and the objective, the function, the purpose of those departments is that they are operating just to make sure that the entity is able to achieve its objectives. Now, let's move a bit forward and let's talk about uh, the stakeholders. As you know that the stakeholders means every single person who has got a stake in an entity, who is somehow or the other connected to the entity, who is somehow or the other having an interest in the entity, that person is considered to be a stakeholder. When we talk about the concept of stakeholders, there could be different stakeholders. Your customers are your stakeholders. Your suppliers are your stakeholders. Your employees are your stakeholders. The government is your stakeholders. The society in which you are operating, they are also a stakeholder. There could be multiple different type of stakeholders that the organization could have. So the performance management would also mean that you should know how would you be managing these stakeholders. The performance management would actually mean that how exactly would you be managing these stakeholders. So that is also something that's going to be part and parcel of the performance management all about. So when I talk about performance management, the performance management simply means that you got to make sure that the organization, you got to make sure that the organization is able to achieve its objective. And whatever that you got to do in order to make sure that the organization is able to achieve its objective, that is all part and parcel of the performance management exercise. So performance management is a bigger thing, it's a broader thing, it's a high level thing, it's a strategic level work that is there. It's a strategic level task. Because you see, achieving the organization's goal, achieving the organization's objective is not something which is a middle management thing. It's not something that's an operational management thing. It's a top management thing. That's what performance management is all about. Now, so when we would study this advanced performance management, so you could just imagine that it's the advanced level performance management, it's the top level performance management, which is performance management which could create a difference. Managing the performance to create a difference, that's what this APM is going to be all about. Now, whenever we study the performance management, so there are two terminologies that you come across. One of them is performance management, and the other one of them is performance measurement. I wait, one of them is performance management, the other one of them is performance measurement. Now, let's try to understand. What happens is we have discussed what a management is, but now what we need to discuss is what is performance measurement. So when you talk about the performance measurement, it's simply quantifying performance. It's simply quantifying performance. Like for example, when we say that we have calculated the sales growth, or when we say that we have calculated the GP margin, or when we say that we have calculated the return on capital employed, we say that we have calculated the earning per share. So all of these things that we do, this is all performance measurement. You are actually measuring the performance. You are quantifying the performance. So when we talk about the performance measurement, when we talk about the performance management, just try to understand that these are two different things. Management is a bigger thing. It's managing the whole organization so that it is able to achieve its objective. But when it comes to performance measurement, the measurement of performance is actually quantifying the performance. I repeat, measurement of performance is actually quantifying the performance. That's what measurement of performance is all about. Now, let's move a bit forward and let's discuss a bit further. What next is there? The next situation is, this is something that we have discussed, that what performance measurement is. Now, always remember this thing, that measurement is part of management. Measurement is part of management. You will measure the performance and then you will get an idea that whether you are having a good sales, you are having a good profitability, you are having a good margins, you will measure the performance. When you will measure, so you'll be able to identify what exactly is going wrong, where exactly the problem is, etc., etc., etc. And then what you will be able to do is that you will be able to go on for the management. So I repeat, the first step is measurement. You measure the performance, you quantify the performance, you get an idea how the organization is performing, and then what you do is that you manage it. So when you manage it, you perform the activities, you perform the task, you perform the corrective actions just to make sure that you're able to achieve your objectives. So the first starting point of APM is that you got to understand that what performance management is all about. And I've told you it's just ensuring organization is able to achieve its objectives. And in order to ensure that the organization is able to achieve its objective, you got to look at a wide range of things, wide range of activities, wide range of departments, etc., etc., wide range of stakeholders. And in order to manage everything, you got to be able to measure them. When you measure them, you quantify them so that ultimately you are able to take corrective actions. That means you are able to manage them. So that's the initial thing. Now, let's move a bit forward and let's discuss further. So the starting point to study the APM syllabus is to study the performance. The starting point is to study the performance management hierarchy. I repeat, the starting point is to study the performance management hierarchy. Now, what is this performance management hierarchy? Let's have a bit of a discussion. So what happens is that any organization which is formed, there's a vision for that organization. There's a vision for that organization. And what is the vision for the organization? The vision is the ultimate goal. The vision is the ultimate objective. The vision tells you reason for existence. I repeat, when we talk about the vision, so what exactly do you mean by vision? The vision is actually what? The vision is the ultimate goal, the ultimate purpose of the organization. It tells you the reason for existence, that why is organization existing? What exactly is the purpose for which this organization is formed? This is what the vision is all about. So the starting point of performance management is to have the vision. Next, when we move a bit forward, the next thing is basically called mission. What is the mission of the organization? So mission statement of any organization would actually tell you, the mission statement of any organization would tell you that how it will achieve its vision. I wait, when we talk about the mission statement of the organization would tell you that how an organization will be able to achieve its vision, how it will be able to achieve its vision. That's what the mission statement is going to tell you. So top of the organization, you have got the vision. Then after the vision, you've got the mission. Vision tells you what is the ultimate goal, ultimate objective of the organization. What does mission tells you? Mission tells you that how the organization will be able to achieve its vision. Generally, when you would look at the mission statement, you'd you'd find three things in the mission statement. What are those three things? First is what we do. The second thing is that for whom, what we do, for whom, and how we do. So it's actually like this: what we do, for whom do we do, and how we do. What we do, for whom, and how we do. Now, Let's just try to understand. So you've got an organization's ultimate goal. That ultimate goal is sub translated into the mission. That is how you will be able to achieve everything. Then from the mission statement, what happens is there is this objectives. And from the objectives, there are the goals. And from the goals, there are critical success factors. So what happens is that there is what? There is objectives, there is this goals, there is this critical success factor. Now what exactly are the objectives all about? What exactly do you mean by goals? What are the critical success factors? So when we talk about the objectives, so objectives is basically long-term actions to accomplish mission. Your long-term actions to accomplish the mission is going to be considered as your objectives. I repeat, the long-term actions to accomplish the mission are going to be considered as objectives. So what do we have? We have got the vision, which is ultimate goal. Like maybe you wanna be the best IT company, or you wanna be the best social social marketing company, or you want to be, let's say, the social platform. You want to be the best social platform. That could be your vision. The mission could be that you would inspire the users by providing them exceptional quality of services. And then there could be objectives, there could be long-term goals to achieve that vision. And then what happens is that the goals are going to be the actions to achieve the objectives. And lastly, the critical success factors, those things that should be done in order to achieve goals. So generally, the performance management hierarchy of any entity is like this. You start off with a vision, it's translated into mission, mission into objectives, objectives into goals, and goals into the critical success factors. And we commonly say them CSF. I repeat, we normally call them CSF. We normally call them CSF, the critical success factors. What are these critical success factors? They are those essential things that you must be doing as an entity in order to make sure that you are able to ultimately achieve your mission. The critical success factors are those things that you must be doing as an entity to make sure that you are able to achieve your mission. Now, what are these critical success factors? What could be the critical success factors? There could be multiple things. Like quality of goods could be one of the critical success factors. Customer satisfaction could be a critical success factor. Market share could be a critical success factor. Market share could be a critical success factor. So you've got quality of goods, you've got customer satisfaction, you've got market share, they all could be the critical success factor. What else is there? You can have brand recognition. You could have number of new products. You could have multiple critical success. I mean, like there could be many things which could ultimately lead to the success of the organization. I bet there could be multiple things which would ultimately lead to the success of the organizations. So when I talk about the critical success factor, What do we mean by critical success factor? They are the things that you must do as an entity in order to be able to achieve the mission. I repeat, these are the things that you must do as an entity in order to be able to achieve your mission. So always remember, whenever we talk about the performance management hierarchy, the performance management hierarchy is like this. It's vision, and then objectives, and then goals, and then the critical success factors. From the perspective of the APM, this critical success factor is a very important terminology which you got to understand. And what you need to understand with respect to it is that these are the things that you must do as an entity to be able to achieve your mission. These are the things that you must do as an entity to be able to achieve your mission. Now, what happens is you do have an idea that in any organization, you have got management who is responsible for performance. I mean, if we are running an entity and I want my organization to be the most valuable company in the globe. So I have given a task to my management. My management is going to perform. My management is going to handle things. My management is going to make sure that my organization becomes the most profitable or the most valuable organization in the globe. Now, so probably what happens is that my management would try to make sure that they are able to have high profit. They're able to create wealth for shareholders. They're able to have a sizable market share. So just giving you an idea, I repeat, just giving you an idea, what is actually going to happen is that, I repeat, just giving you an idea, what is actually going to happen is that we have actually set these critical success factors to the management. Why? Because we want our organization to be the most valuable organization. We want our organization to be achieving high amounts of profit. So in order to be able to achieve that, they would want to be creating the wealth for shareholders. They would want to be achieving good amount of profit. They would want to be achieving a good market share. There are going to be a lot of things that they would want to be do. So now I've set them the target. I'm one of the board of directors members. I'm one of the members of the BOD. I've set them the targets that these are the targets that you have to achieve. Now, how would I know that whether they have achieved all of this or not? So what I need to do is that I need to ultimately measure them. And what happens is that the critical success factors, the measurement of the critical success factors is done using the key performance indicators. Is done using key performance indicators, which is also commonly known as KPIs. Because you see, what happens is that till the time I'm not gonna quantify the performance, I would not know that how well my organization has performed. So ideally speaking, what should be happening is that the critical success factors that you have set for your organization, I repeat, the critical success factors that you have set for the organization, you got to be measuring the achievement of those critical success factors. And in order to be measuring the achievement of those critical success factors, you need to introduce different key performance indicators. And what exactly are those key performance indicators? So when we talk about the key performance indicators could be different things, different ways of measuring. So like for example, if I have got a CSF, which is profit, I could have GP margin. I could have my NP margin. For the shareholders' wealth, I could have market capitalization value. For the market share, I could compare the revenue divided by total industry sales into 100. I could share, yeah, for the wealth, yes, we could do EPS also. So just giving you a bit of an idea that when you have got those critical success factors, you got to be measuring them that whether we have been able to achieve those CSFs or not. So in order to be able to measure that whether we have been able to achieve the CSFs or not, we got to introduce KPIs. What do we need to do? We got to introduce KPIs, the key performance indicators. Now, what are those key performance indicators? They are basically used for measuring the performance. And when we talk about the KPIs, I repeat, when we talk about the KPIs, so the KPIs are actually categorized into two things. One of them is the financial performance indicator, and the other one of them is non-financial performance indicators. So there could be two types of KPIs. You could have financial performance indicators, you could have non-financial performance indicators. So you can have the financial performance indicators and you could have non-financial performance indicators. These could be the two different types of KPIs that could possibly exist. Now, what exactly do you mean by having financial performance indicators? I repeat, what exactly do you mean by financial performance indicators? So when I talk about the financial performance indicators could actually be the different things. It could be your profit, it could be your liquidity ratios, it could be your gearing ratios, it could be your investor ratios. There could be multiple types of financial performance indicators that could be indicated. So you could have the measurement of revenue. I mean, like simply anything that is related to the financial statements of the entity would actually mean financial performance indicators. I repeat, anything related to the financial statements of the entity would mean financial performance indicators. Now, what next is there? Okay, the CSFs are divided into different categories. Asad, just wait a bit, I'm gonna come back to it. The CSFs are being measured through KPIs, and the KPIs could be financial, KPIs could be non-financial. Now, what actually happens with respect to non-financial is the thing which is not covered by financial statement. Like, for example, the quality of goods, customer satisfaction, customer retention, brand recognition, awards won, etc., etc. There could be multiple things which are possibly not covered in the financial statements. And what you could do is that you could actually measure the performance of the entity from these perspectives. So that's a non-financial performance indicator. What is it? So it's actually a non-financial performance indicator. Now, so when we talk about the performance management, as I told you earlier, that the performance management is one aspect and the performance measurement is part and parcel of performance management. So when we will study APM and whenever you study the performance management anywhere, you would always you would always you'd always see this phrase, which is what gets measured gets done. You would always see this phrase, which is what gets measured gets done. Now, what do you mean by what gets measured gets done? Try to understand this. When I say what gets measured gets done, It actually means that whatever thing that you are going to quantify, if you want your management to perform in a certain manner, so you got to make sure that you are measuring that. I repeat, if you want your management to be performing in a certain manner, you got to be measuring that aspect of the performance. If you are going to measure that aspect of the performance, your management is going to get those things done. If you're not going to measure those aspects of performance, the management is not going to get those things done. So like if you want management to focus on profit, so your performance measurement should actually be measuring the different ways of the profit margins. You could actually be doing it through the GP. You could actually be doing it through the net profit. You could actually be doing it through the return on capital employed. You could even be doing it through the residual income. There could be multiple ways through which you could be doing it. Similarly, if you want, if you want uh, the management to focus on customer satisfaction, so what happens is that if you want your management to focus on customer satisfaction, you got to introduce the performance measure which focus upon the customer satisfaction. Like for example, you may say customer satisfaction score. You might say customer retention ratio. I bet you might say customer satisfaction score. You might say customer retention ratio. You might say complaint ratio. So there could be different ways of measuring it. Again, the important thing is that what gets measured gets done. If you want your CSF, if your CSFs include customer satisfaction, you got to be measuring it. If you are not measuring customer satisfaction, then forget about it. Your management is not going to bring customer satisfaction. If you want customer satisfaction, just make sure that you are measuring it. If you are measuring it, management will achieve it. If you are not measuring it, management won't be able to achieve it. So basically, when we talk about the performance management hierarchy, the starting point is vision, and ultimately it translates into the critical success factors. And what we do is that the critical success factors are actually what? The critical success factors are things which should be done for an organization to be able to achieve its mission. And whether an organization has been able to achieve its critical success factors or not, what is it that you got to do? You got to introduce KPIs, the key performance indicators. They could be financial, they could be non-financial. They could be financial, they could be non-financial KPIs. So you got to be measuring the performance in a manner such that you're able to have an idea that how the organization has performed. Okay, so as I told you that my objective of the session today is to set the tone. And I've actually set the tone. I've given you a bit of an idea that what it is all about. Now, what am I going to be doing in the upcoming sessions? So let me just give you a bit of an idea. I will actually be taking you people through the multiple aspects. And the first one of them is there are multiple non-financial performance indicators, models that are part and parcel of the course. So what we should be doing is that we would be going through these three models which are part and parcel of the course, which is balance scorecard, building block model, and performance pyramid. Then there are few financial performance indicators that are important to you from the perspective of the course, and that would actually include that how the return on investment is measured, how the residual income is measured, how the earning before interest tax depreciation amortization is measured. Then there is this another which is economic value added. So there are multiple types of performance measures that are actually there. So our next approach, our next steps are actually going to be that in the next two classes, we shall be going through these models and we shall be going through these techniques and we will be doing the exam questions on these areas in our next two classes. Once we are going to be done with this, so I shall then move on to the other areas, and the major areas include the quality management. The major areas include divisionalization and transfer pricing, information systems, corporate failure, and then there are other miscellaneous techniques. I mean, this is the core of what APM is all about. You have the financial performance measurement, you have non-financial performance indicators, you have got quality management, divisionalization, transfer pricing, information system, corporate failure, and some miscellaneous topics, miscellaneous techniques, including the risk management, including the decision making under risk and uncertainty. So that is something that we are going to do. So I shall actually conclude my class for today here. My next class is on the 9th of May. And in that class, I shall actually start off with the models on the non-financial performance indicator, and then the subsequent classes, we will keep on discussing the other things. So hopefully, inshallah, these 13 live sessions, we will be covering past paper questions on almost every core, every important area of the syllabus. That is what you would be doing. So my agenda for today was to actually set the tone, and I think I have set the tone. Um, and I've actually given you an idea that what exactly are the things going to be. So in case if any one of you has got any questions you may ask, or else I'll conclude it here.